There's been a lot of discussion about the current reaction meta that's been going around in the content creator space, and I personally have my own feelings on the subject, but instead of expounding on what I think should be done about it, I'll just go ahead and make my own reaction video and just practice what I would be preaching. Since the last video was kind of negative, I wanted to do a reaction to one that was probably going to be a little bit more positive. So I am reacting to Punch Punch Forever by Speedoru. If you don't know who Speedoru is, they made that viral, I think it's called Snail House video with the cute, adorable little snail that falls into the life of some woman who has an office job by day, but by night she's kind of like an idol style person. It's a very, very good video. Fantastic animation. They're a great animator and artist. Highly recommend checking out their stuff. Although I will give a word of warning that they do not safe for work. So be wary if you're not into that stuff to look out for that. No shame at all. I think that's a valid form of work and artistry and animation and stuff. But in case you're not into that sort of thing, do just a word of warning that you might run into it. You might catch a glimpse of them. But if you are, hey, congrats, you may have found another person to follow in that form. But they made this video, Punch Punch Forever, which I've actually been putting off wanting to watch because I have this weird thing where it's like creator jealousy, because this is another animator especially whose work is fantastic. I kind of have this jealousy thing where I don't want to watch it because then it's just going to make me feel sad at my own work in comparison. But this whole reaction thing does give me a good excuse to finally watch it in full and enjoy myself. And I'm looking very much forward to it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a good time, so let's watch it. All right. This is so unhinged already. I love this style, this current trend of animation of just rapid, unhinged gremlin energy, and I've definitely implemented in some of my videos as well. Playing any jobs that particularly likes to clap them cheeks, you've provided just this, I don't even know what to call it, new age, rapid gremlin frames, sure. New age rapid gremlin frames, that's what we're gonna call it now. Translator note, ganbare means good luck. Good, thank you. Hey, it's a commercial break. Oh, that's fun. God. Oh, it's a ragdoll. Oh, that's super clever. In live action films and television, whenever someone is hit in a excruciating amount, I'm just explaining the joke. Why am I? Well, I mean, if you wanted to watch the video, you would just watch the video, huh? You wouldn't watch a reaction, would you? You wouldn't see a reaction as a reason to forego watching the original video, would you? Or a replacement? Because that would be bad. That wouldn't be giving credit or proper viewership to the video in question, would it? No, you wouldn't do that. The ragdoll thing, this is what people did with practical effects. Whenever someone would fall off a cliff, they would throw a ragdoll, and it's an amazing visual gag. There's tons of other amazing visual gags in this that I'll go through after I'm done watching, but this is great. Oh, there's so dense. There's so many things. I need to watch this multiple times to get every single joke. I'm pretty sure I'm still gonna miss a bunch. All right, wow, what an amazing video. Well done, Speedoru. So I want to go through it one more time, and this time I will be pausing through each one and just giving my thoughts. Firstly, I love the old 90s, 80s anime style. They even got the aspect ratio to actually be 3:4 as CRT televisions would be at that time. They nailed the, I don't know, what do you call it? Like the watercolor background with contrasted with like the cell animations that would be in the foreground. even though stylistically Speedoru's art style is distinct and recognizable, it's hard to explain. The style still looks like those 80s animes. Like, obviously the character designs are Speedoru's through and through, but the style of production is straight out of those older shows. But just everything, even the subtle like haze that you get on CRTs, and the like, I don't know, what do you call it? The distortion around the lines where the cells would have been placed on top of the lights is really impressive. Impressive attention to detail. Like, no show, no cartoon or anime of this era would look this good. Like, this is still pretty sharp. So it's impressive that they were able to ape that style without having to forego modern quality of life things like high resolution and a higher frame rate and better production value and a better understanding of like line art and style and color, and just without the limitations. Aping the style of those old shows deliberately as an art style choice, while also using a lot of the things in modern day animation kind of to facilitate that. Also, the humor is a fantastic use of what I like to call nonsense humor. I use it quite a bit sometimes in the crap guides, where there will just be something that happens that makes no sense. And that's the joke. It's nonsense. It's completely out of left field. It's random. And it's one that can be difficult to nail a lot of the time, especially if you let it linger for too long. And this one, I think, does a good job to avoid the potential pitfalls of that kind of humor because it doesn't linger. It just happens quickly, sometimes just off in the background, so you don't even have a second thought. And I think that's how you nail this style of humor really well, especially kind of over here. Like, why is there a guy moaning in the narration of this world building? I don't know. It's random and dumb and stupid, but you don't even have a chance to think about it as the narrator continues and whoever's watching this is impatient and fast forwards through it. Like, it's just a thing thrown in for nonsense. It's nonsense humor, and it's fantastic. Not to mention, now, this is absolutely a satire, spoof, parody, whatever you want to call it, of this style of anime in this era. It's a classic tournament arc, you know. Let's not discount the skill and production value involved in this. The animation and character design, everything about this, from a presentation standpoint, is just all really impressive in its own right. Even if this was not a parody or spoof of old 90s, 80s anime, it's still impressive, the skill at work here. Here's another nonsense humor that's going on. She's just watching a silly video. Why is she laughing at this? What's funny about it? We don't know, and that's why it's funny. Also, odds are there's probably a ton of references that I don't get. This thing must be dense with references that I am not familiar with. I get a few of them, but like this, another good instance of nonsense humor. She is surprised, so it's like, okay, that's pretty funny. She's surprised, but then she sucks up her alarm clock. Why? Because. Oh my gosh, and the I mean, it doesn't take a sharp eye to notice this, but I love even this kicking of the TV out the window is a setup for a punchline. It by itself would have been funny. You know, it is funny. The mom, instead of just shutting off the computer or pulling the girl away, she instead takes it and just ludicrously kicks it out of the window. That's already fairly ridiculous and would work by itself as a joke. But the fact that the television comes back later on as a punchline and callback to this kick just elevates this joke to me to something even better. Like, that's just great. They could have just left it there, and that would have been a fine enough joke of her kicking the TV, but they decided to bring it back, and that's great, and I love that. That's good humor. That's good comedy. And my gosh, the fact that they went out of their way to make an anime opening, just a full-on anime opening. You see what I mean? See why I'm scared to watch these videos? Because now I'm jealous and depressed. I wish I could make something this impressive. Maybe one day I will, and it's not fair to me to compare myself and my work to somebody else, because really, we all stand on our own merit, but still makes me feel like, oh man, I'm so jealous of their skill and ability and talent. I think that's another reason why the humor works in this is that it's kind of got the veil of an old anime. Clearly it's not trying to hide the fact that it's being absurd, but it cranks it up to 11 and just does the complete unexpected thing that you would never seen in an anime. I know that might sound pretty lowbrow, like, that's not supposed to happen in anime. Silly show. You're not supposed to shoot them. But I don't know, it works for me. And again, like, it's just it's so quick. She's like expecting something to happen as the intro is continuing on in here. Once again, I'm dissecting the frog of the joke, but if you didn't want nonsense commentary, you would watch the video itself, wouldn't you? Before you even get a chance to really take in the fact that she's wondering why the intro is going, you just get quickly another shot of this creature sucking on this massive straw violently. And the gross slurping sounds. Oh my gosh. I think just it's just so good. This contrast. I think there's definitely quite a bit of Western animation DNA in this as well. Like the hyper realistic close-ups is definitely quite the thing, like SpongeBob or your Flapjacks, that I think works pretty well, and I don't know, adds to the humor, I think. And there's just so much good visual humor in this. I don't need to explain it. You already know. Because you watched the video, right? Oh, I just noticed as well, they've got the slight shaking that would have happened with traditional animation when they take, you know, photos of each individual frame that usually often shakes the camera ever so slightly, and that kind of shakes the footage of the video as well. It's really subtle, but if you pay attention, you can see it. It's like what's on screen is slightly shaking. And the film grain as well, because old anime would have been recorded on film. Like, look at that. There's film grain in there. That's just there for one frame. They even got the way the contrast would be. So, like, fade outs, I don't know how to explain it. The way the camera fades to black is in that old style as well, where I don't know how it works. Maybe it's they would dim the light, the backlight on the animation cells, or I don't know, put a film. I don't actually exactly know how old style animation works in this respect. It just looks authentic. I don't know how they did it. Maybe they just bumped up like the saturation as they were lowering the brightness. I don't know. It's really impressive though. Everything about the visuals of this animation, about this video, is so authentically 80s, 90s anime style. And animation, for that matter. It's very, very impressive. But yeah, fantastic video. Love it. Link will be provided in the description, and you should watch it instead of watching this as a replacement. But yeah, this was a fun video. I'm glad I finally watched it, and it makes me jealous and does kind of inspire me a little bit to want to do more animations sooner rather than later. I've been putting off a lot of them. Well done, Speedoru, and everyone on the team. This was amazing. Anyway, thanks for watching, and this is probably the last one, so see ya.